Hello, Kevin. Welcome. Hello, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Are you there? Okay, hello guys. I hope you are fine today. Maybe most of you are having problems to connect to our class, but I will share with you this video on YouTube for you to check and to learn, to have a review of this topic. All the material it's on the Speak platform, so try to check the activities on, of course, on the platform, and try to watch this video also in case you have some doubts, some questions about this topic. Today, everybody, our class is about relative clauses. So what are relative clauses? Maybe you wonder. Let me show you right now what are the relative clauses, okay? Well, the use of the relative clauses is to join two English sentences or to give more information about something. As you can see in the example, you see a beautiful car, and also you see the following sentence. I bought a new car. It is very fast. Well, you can see in this example that we have two sentences. Why do we have two sentences? Well, first of all, because this is one idea, and this is the second idea. Also, because there is a period in this part, okay? I bought a new car. It is very fast. So we have piece of information number one, and also we have piece of information number two, okay? But when we use the relative clauses, we can join two sentences, or we can give more information in one single sentence. For example, okay, remember the two sentences. I bought a new car. It is very fast. Two ideas, two sentences in one single sentence. I bought a new car that is very fast. As you can see, the relative pronoun or the relative word that we use in this example is that. The use of that, or when we use that, we can link or we can join two sentences to create one sentence, okay? But now, everybody, let's pay attention to other relative pronouns that we can use to create relative clauses, okay? Everybody, this is this is some material that you will find on the platform. So pay attention to the following thing, okay? The common words that we can use at the moment of creating sentences in relative clauses are who, that, and which. Those are the common words that we use, okay? But pay attention to the following thing. At the moment of creating sentences for a person or for people, we can use who, that, and also we can use, give me a second, guys. And also we can use whom. Actually, whom is very formal, so it's not common to use it, but it's possible to use it when the relative pronoun is working as an object. We will check that in a moment, okay? So pay attention to it. When we use who or whom or that, we talk about a person. Then, if we are talking about a thing or an object, for example, a cell phone, a mouse, a book, okay? In those cases, we use which, or same as when we are talking about a person, we can use that, okay? Who is only for person, which is only for things, and that is for person and thing, okay? Then some other examples or some other relative pronouns can be where, if we are talking about places, or when, if we are talking about a time expression or specific time, okay? There is another one, guys, that is not on the platform, but also you can use it, and is why. Oh, there is other expression, guys, another relative pronoun that we can use, and is what, okay? But in this class, we will not check the use of what, okay? So we will only check mostly the use of who, that, and which. And I will give you some examples at the moment of using where and when, okay? So, well, let's move on to the next part. When we talk about relative clauses, guys, there are two types of relative clauses. The first one is the defining relative clauses. You can see the definition. I will not read it right now because we will read it when we introduce this topic, okay? And then we have the non-defining relative clauses. Also, I will read the definition in some minutes later, okay? Because we will check the use of defining and non-defining relative clauses, okay? Everybody, please pay attention to this part and take notes. Okay, the first use or the first type of relative clauses are the defining relative clauses. The defining relative clauses introduces, or well, in this case, introduce essential information about the noun in the main clause. Remember, essential information. It means important information. All that we mention when we are using the defining relative clauses is important, okay? So pay attention to our example. She has a son who is a doctor. She has a son who is a doctor. As you can see, the sentence, this is only one sentence. And this is divided in two parts. The first one is the main clause. The second part is the defining relative clause. She has a son. This is a simple sentence. She has a son. Remember the first example? Yes? Okay, so pay attention to it. Remember that in the first example, oops, she has a son. Okay, in the first example about the red car, the red beautiful car, we had two sentences. I bought a car and it is very fast. Okay, or he bought a car, it is very fast. Now, we can divide this sentence in two parts. She has a son. He is a doctor. And also, we have two sentences, two different ideas. Now, when we use the defining relative clauses, we can use a relative pronoun. In this case, we are using who. Oops, give me a second. Okay, in this case, we are using who. So it joins the two sentences. Look at it. She has a son who is a doctor. So when we use the relative pronouns, we link or we join the two sentences. Why? Because in this example, the most important part of the sentence is that her son is a doctor. This is an information that we want to mention about him. A simple sentence, should be, she has a son. And there isn't anything relevant. There isn't more information. The only information that we have is that she has a son. Okay? But something important, something essential that we want to mention is that her son is a doctor. That's why we use the defining relative clauses, because this information is essential, is important, and we want to mention that info. Okay? She has a son. It's something simple. We don't have any information. But if we have the second sentence and we join the second sentence with the defining relative clause, then we check, or we can see that that's important, that her son is a doctor. Okay? Remember, the defining relative clauses are used for essential information. And also pay attention to this. We never use commas with defining relative clauses. We have two sentences in a single sentence, okay? And there is no comma, there isn't anything to separate the two sentences, because they are not two sentences anymore. Now they are only one, okay? Let's continue, everybody, and pay attention to another important detail of defining relative clauses. Well, the relative pronoun, remember who, that, which, where, when, why, can be used as a subject or an object in the defining relative clause. Remember that the sentences, even though they are only one, they are divided into parts: the main clause and the defining relative clause, which is the important information that we want to share. Okay? Pay attention to the subject of the defining relative clause. I need a television that works. Okay? If we divide this sentence in two, the first sentence is, I need a TV or a television. The second sentence is, it needs to work. Of course, because you will not buy a TV that is not working. But it needs to work. Okay? The first sentence is, I need a television. And we have all the information over here. But even though I have the complete sentence, I don't have any important information. What is the essential information that I need? Oh, it needs to work. But I will not repeat the complete sentence. I don't have to do it. So in that case, I need a television. The television needs to work. So that works. I need a television that works. Okay? I don't have to repeat it. Remember that in this case, it is the TV. Okay? If we change the subject into a noun, it is the same as the TV. Okay? But I will not repeat it, because in the sentence, I already have a television. And I don't have to create a complete sentence, because the idea will not be clear. So I won't mention needs. In this case, the only thing I need is work. That in this sentence, this word that in this sentence means that this is the subject. This is the subject of the sentence, of the defining relative clause, I mean, okay? So I need a television that works. I don't have to say that it works. because that in this example is making the function of it, okay? That's the subject in this example, okay? Now pay attention to the second example, which is the object of the defining relative clause. Look at the sentence. He is the actor, main clause, he is the actor that we saw last week. Defining relative clause. Okay, defining relative clause. So in this case, everybody, as you can see, we have that in the first sentence, he is the actor. The main clause, he is the actor. And in the second sentence, as you remember, this is, well, that in this example is making the function of the object. What is the object of the main clause? The actor. So we will not repeat, he is the actor we saw last week. Okay, we won't repeat it, right? Because it's too long and it doesn't make sense if we repeat the sentence twice. Okay, so in this case, we use that, and it means the object, the actor. The actor we saw last week. Okay, that's the object. As you can see, after the object, we use, after the object of the defining relative clause, we use a subject. In this case, we, because of course we were the people who saw him, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's the actor that we saw last week. Okay, remember, if the defining relative clause can be a subject or an object, it depends on the meaning of the sentence. Okay, so let's see. Okay, remember that, well, another thing that we have to remember is that, well, that can be used, remember, for things like a television, and for people like the rock. Okay, and if we change it for another word that it's also possible, we can use for objects, for things, which, for people, who. Okay, let's continue, everybody, with our next part. This is the information for about defining relative clauses. Okay, now let's pay attention to the second type of the relative clauses, the non-defining relative clauses, of course. Okay, look at the definition. Give extra information about the noun. This information, number one, this information is between commas. Number two, it is not essential. It means the information is not important. Okay, good to know, but not important. Okay, so everybody, let's pay attention to it. The necklace which she bought yesterday was stolen. And look at it. The sentence in this case is divided in three parts, but the first and the last part are the same, the main clause. Why? Okay, for a moment, everybody, let's eliminate together this sentence, the non-defining relative clause. Okay, read the sentence, only the main clause. The necklace was stolen. The necklace was stolen. Does it make sense? Yes, it makes sense. Why? Because That's important. The necklace was stolen. That's something important. Now, read the complete sentence. The necklace which she bought yesterday was stolen. Maybe you already know that she has a necklace, but maybe you didn't know that she bought it yesterday. Maybe that's some information that you didn't know. However, it's not that important, okay? In this case, the focus of or the attention is that it was stolen. But in this case, it is not, well, that she bought it yesterday is not that important, okay? So this is the difference, or this is the main difference between defining and non-defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses give important information, essential information that make the sentence with more sense. But non-defining relative clauses is just or are just extra information. It's not essential, and that's why they are always between commas. Okay, the non-defining relative clauses, clause in this case is between commas or after a comma. Okay, let's continue and pay attention to more information about it. Okay, generally, non-defining relative clauses come in the middle of the sentence. Look at the first example before we continue with this sentence. Look at this. This is the common structure that we have for non-defining relative clauses. Main clause, non-defining relative clauses in the middle, and the main clause again. That's the common structure. That's why it says generally non-defining relative clauses come in the middle of the sentence. Pay attention to it, please. But in some cases, they can be used at the end. The non-defining relative clause can also be at the end. What is the same characteristic than the other structure? This information is not essential. Read the sentence. We spoke to Linda, who recently got married. We spoke to Linda, who recently got married. Okay, let's do the same exercise. Eliminate the non-defining relative clause. I did it. We spoke to Linda. Okay. Is it necessary to read the other sentence? Not really. We spoke to Linda. It's clear information that we have, and also is something that, well, it's clear, first of all, and also it's important that we spoke to Linda or you talked to Linda. But not essential, but good to know. It's good information for you to know. She recently got married, but we spoke to Linda. She recently got married. Those are two sentences. We use who to make a non-defining relative clause. We spoke to Linda, who recently got married. And look at this. This is one sentence. The sentence is divided in two parts, the main clause and the non-defining relative clause. It's divided in two parts, but it is still one sentence. We spoke to Linda, who recently got married. Not essential information, it's only extra information. So remember, defining relative clause give important information. Non-defining relative clauses, they don't give important information, or the information that they give are not essential, are just extra information, okay? So remember these two structures, and let's continue practicing. In this opportunity, guys, since this class is recorded, so it means, everybody, that you are not participating at this moment. However, you can practice at home. Let me show you how to do some practices that I have over here. And after that, maybe you can do it at home. Okay? Everybody, the first practice is this one. Rewrite these sentences using relative clauses. In this opportunity, guys, we will use who, whose, and which. Okay, guys, remember, I didn't show you any example using whose. Remember that whose is used for possessions or belongings. For example, I am, okay, Christian, I am a teacher. Ooh, teacher. My mom is a chef. Okay, so look at this. Let me move the sentence a little bit. Okay, I will give you my example using whose. Okay, you know that my mom and me, we are not possessions. We are not possessions. We are people, but we have a relationship. In this case, I am a son. She is my mother. I am her son. She is my mother. So we have a relationship, a family relationship. So now, everybody, pay attention to my example using whose. A relative clause using whose. Christian, whose mom is a chef, is a teacher. Okay? So in this case, everybody, you can eliminate this. This is a non-defining relative clause because the main focus of this sentence is not in my mom. It's not on my mom. The main focus is on me. Christian is a teacher. Okay, now everybody, let's do it in the other way around. My mom, whose son is a teacher, I am her son. Okay, whose son is a teacher, is a chef. So let's do the same. Eliminate the non-defining relative clause. My mom is a chef. It makes sense? Yes. So this is only extra information. That's why it's a non-defining relative sentence. But as you can see, we use whose to talk about possession and also to talk about relationship. Okay? Now, everybody, pay attention to the first sentence. Okay? I will help you with, well, first of all, I am reading the first, well, the example. And after that, I create the first example, example number 1. Look at this. He drank the juice, sentence number 1. He made the juice, sentence number 2. Okay? Everybody now pay attention to the relative clause. This is a defining relative clause. No commas, one sentence, important information, essential. He drank the juice which he made. Juice is a thing. That's why we use which. He drank the juice which he made. Remember that another option is that. But in this opportunity, guys, we are not using that. Only who, which, and whose. Okay? Now, everybody, let's pay attention to sentence number 1. We have two sentences. A lion is an animal. It is very strong. What could be the correct sentence? Okay, let's give a shot. A lion is an animal that, oh, we cannot use that. Come on. So in that case, everybody, we use which, of course. A lion is an animal which is very strong. Well, everybody, remember that why we are not using who. Remember that who is for a person or people. Sadly, guys, animals are not people. Okay, that's why they are taken as things. So we use which, and they are in this case. It is not talking about possession. It is not talking about relationship. So we don't use whose. We use which. So look at the complete sentence. One sentence, not two anymore. One single sentence. A lion is an animal which is very strong. Okay? Everybody, please try to work on the next examples. Number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Try to do it at home, and if you have time, send me a picture on the WhatsApp group, okay? To check your sentences and to check if we understood the topic, okay? And if we have some doubts, you can also tell me through the WhatsApp group, okay? Now, everybody, let's check another example. I will try to send you this link on, well, for you to do it at home. So I will try to send you the link on the WhatsApp group. Give me a second. Okay, everybody, in this moment, let me show you the next activity. And you have to check if, okay, you have to check if you understood the information that we studied. Okay, give me a second, everybody. It is working a little bit slow. Okay, now it works. Okay, everybody, pay attention to it. Mr. Richards, look at this, comma and comma. So this is a non-defined relative clause, but that's not the important thing, okay? Mr. Richards is a taxi driver, lives on the corner. What do you think is the correct word? What is the correct relative pronoun? Okay, since we are talking about Mr. Richards, We are talking about people. This is not a possession, it's a profession. We use who. So we did it. Now, number 2. Thank you very much for your email. Was very interesting. This is a defining relative clause because we don't have any commas, and this information is important because your email was important, was very interesting. So what do you think is the right answer? Okay, everybody, I consider that which is the right answer, of course, because it's an email. Number 3, the car driver is a young man, is from Ireland. Okay, what could be the right answer? The car and the driver. Okay. The car, whose driver, because the car is a driver's possession, is the Irish person possession. So that's why we use whose. Okay. Number 4, I talked to the girl. Car had broken down in front of the shop. Well, the same situation. I talked to the girl. Car, girl and car. Maybe we are talking about possession. Yes, okay. And the last example, everybody. We often visit our aunt in Norwich. Is in East Anglia. Are we talking about Norwich or our aunt? Well, I consider that we are talking about our aunt. It means that we use who, okay? So everybody, we have 5 out of 5, okay? Everybody, thank you for, thank you for watching. I don't know if you will practice at home. I hope so. So please, everybody, try to work at home, okay? Remember, everybody, this is, coming to our classes is important, everybody, because we need to check if we understand the classes. If we have some questions, we can clarify or clear up all those doubts in our class. And also, guys, try to work on the platform. Remember that the activities on the platform help us to have feedback and to have better information or better knowledge about the things that we study during our class. So everybody, let me show you our activities for our next class. Okay, everybody, our homework. Please try to work on the following activities on the platform. I'm sorry for speaking Spanish, but it's really, really important. Guys, hoy que estamos iniciando el nivel intermedio 3, traten de trabajar la plataforma desde el día 1, ¿ok? Traten, yo les voy a compartir cada día las actividades que tenemos que realizar. Sin embargo, les voy a pedir de favor que traten ustedes de completarlas. ¿Pueden trabajar más actividades? Claro que sí, no solamente pueden hacer las que yo les muestro, sino pueden hacer más actividades. ¿Qué es lo importante? Que no nos atrasemos con ellas, ¿ok? Recuerden que para que podamos obtener nuestro certificado al finalizar el nivel intermedio 3, tenemos que tener la plataforma finalizada al 100%. Así que traten de trabajar todos los días que tenemos clases, las actividades que nos corresponden. Si pueden trabajar más, excelente, pero no menos, ¿ok? Siempre tratemos de trabajar esta cantidad o más actividades, ¿ok? Así que para que no tengamos ningún problema al finalizar, traten de hacerlo a diario. Guys, remember that, well, it was our class for today. I hope you watched this video. And everybody, I hope to see you on Thursday 11th, May 11th. Remember that tomorrow we don't have classes because it's Mother's Day. Okay, so celebrate or relax, and I hope to see you in our next class. Bye-bye.